I don't know. We're gonna move on to the next video. This is a quick little update. Quick little update. This is what I was talking about with the mayor. I believe Tiffany Henyard is her name. Crazy story. We actually covered it a while ago. This was the lady that was accused of using village funds to fund her vacations. And it's just a crazy story, but I'm really just showing it for a little bit of laughs, but also just to show us how much that a lot of these politicians feel that they can get away with. And this may be a microcosm, but then when we see our money being shipped overseas or shipped to this group or shipped to that group for whatever purpose, we have to sit back and wonder, like, hold up, like, how is our money being spent? Maybe we do need somebody who has a little bit more business experience running the country. I don't know, but let's just take a look. Let's take a look. Oh, shoot. Hold on. Maya wrote only 35% is needed for a third-party candidate to win. Elaborate on that. I'm not sure I understand. And Urs wrote, that is not democracy. It's not democracy. That's why I feel like, I'm to the point where I just completely understand, Urs, that nobody cares. People will sit there and tell you, hey, these are my principles. This is the way that I think that, morally, people should be. This is how I view integrity. And literally, they will say all those things, be a part of a group that is violating those things, and just say, the other group did it too, so I'm good over here. Like, that is the world that we live in. There's no leaders. We don't have leaders. We just have people that follow, and then they convince you to follow what they got going on. It's oh man. And then Urs wrote, F this country, move to Miami. Exactly. All right, so we'll take a look at this video and get a couple laughs in, and then we'll move on to the Ricky Smiley, where I don't think it's funny at all.
In Dalton, credit card transactions amounting to thousands of dollars without explanation, and millions more owed to vendors.
A bombshell report highlights just how much financial trouble the village of Dalton is really in. Our Casey Cronus is live tonight with details. Casey.
Don and Scott, community members' jaws.
Oh, I get what you're saying, Ma. You're saying because there's 3 candidates, so it's not like you need 50%. Oh, I get exactly what you're saying. So we're used to seeing it 50-50, but if there are 3 candidates running and votes are split 3 ways, you only need 33.33% plus of the popular vote to hopefully give you the electoral votes. Yeah, so you need, that's if everything is split evenly. Now, if Trump comes out and gets 10%, or if Kamala gets 10%, then obviously you would need more than 33%. But that's a good point. That's a very good point.
Dropped during tonight's presentation. The report was put together by former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot, who was hired by village trustees in April as an independent investigator. They sought her out to get to the bottom of Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard's alleged misuse of village funds. Of the revelations made tonight, we are learning that as of May 31st of this year, the village's general fund, which is used to pay the majority of village expenses, is $3.65 million in deficit. Across the village's 6 credit cards that Lightfoot has been made aware of, receipts for purchases are, quote, rarely provided, unquote. In just one day, 3 transactions were made on Amazon, one for $33,000, another for $47,000. Amazon.
Yeah, look at this. The shorty spent $40,000 on Amazon on one day. Another day, what she spent? She spent $7,699.99 on Wayfair. Yeah, this is crazy.
$33,000, another for $4,700, and a third for $5,600. Another significant purchase that stands out: nearly $7,700 spent at Wayfair, and that is only scratching the surface. Community members were shocked to learn that at least 589 checks amounting to over $6 million were approved and printed, but never sent to vendors.
Damn.
Henyard, a no-show for tonight's highly anticipated meeting, and attorneys for village trustees say she has changed the locks at Village Hall once again.
Yo, so I have allegedly, all right, I gotta say allegedly, I saw a bunch of videos on this, and apparently some people are speculating that she left the country, that she fled the country. And I honestly wouldn't be surprised. So not only did the chief of police, I believe, get fired because the chief of police, he was making like something like $100,000 in overtime, just in overtime, more than his salary. And he was, I think, fired. And then the acting chief of police that they had, that person was just fired because they received like $100,000 in overtime. And I don't even think that they were eligible for overtime being in the position that they're in, but neither here nor there.
$40,000 at Amazon. What a slap in the face to everybody that reside in 60419 zip code.
And we are aware that this is the money that the taxpayers pay. So just like when it comes to the country, when we always talk about America sending this money out, America sending that money out, or that's our money. That's our money. And it's our money, whether it directly comes from our tax dollars or it impacts our money when they continue to print money and cause inflation. It's our money.
I know how I felt when I started seeing these numbers. So I can imagine how all of you are feeling after all this time being in the dark. There are a number of other things we know, but we aren't ready yet. We got to verify them 20 ways from Sunday. Here is proof for everyone to see, and even the ones who doubt us. If you don't see through this, there's nothing I can say to you. February of 2025.
So I just wanted to show this just for a couple different laughs and definitely to highlight exactly how crooked a lot of these politicians are. We place these politicians in such high regards. We place anybody, it's like we've been just indoctrinated to see people with a certain position. It's like, oh, that's a doctor. Like, oh, that's a principal. Oh, that's a professor. Challenge your professors in school, because they only have learned what they learned. Challenge your doctors, get another opinion, because doctors obviously put food on their table by performing surgery on you. So if they make a recommendation, it's not just unbiased, it's not objective, it's based on them wanting to sell their particular product, which is surgery. It is what it is. So always, we got to stop looking at people just because they went a certain way of path, a certain path with schooling, got a certain degree, as if they went to school to improve their morals, to improve their integrity. Those are the things that we should be focusing on. And when we understand that these people are not the people that we believe that they are, and should not be given the certain level of blind respect that we give them, then things tend to make a lot more sense. At least for me, they tend to make a lot more sense. And it forces us to be accountable to how we are impacting it or how we're not impacting it. Like Cuzzo just said, shout out to Cuzzo in the building. Everything is business. Everything is just business, yo. At the end of the day, everything is business. Follow the money. And we're getting ready to talk about that when Vivek talks about it, with why politics is the way that it is. Why? Because when you understand who are the big corporations that are donating these super PACs, that comes with something. When you take money, like when you hear about Kamala or even Trump after he was shot, raising all these funds the next day, you do realize that when people donate, especially these massive amounts, these are super PACs that these groups get together of very wealthy and influential people, and they donate to you based on, hey, if you are able to do this for us, we'll give you this amount. So therefore, every dollar that is accepted, when you hear about Kamala raising all this money, when you hear about Donald Trump, that is why a lot of times these politicians flip-flop on issues. That's why. I thought that, initially, but then when that, group decided to give me $20 million, I just, obviously I had to, change my way of thinking or, because they gave me $20 million. Just like you, a lot of us, most of us, let's keep it real. If somebody comes to you with a big bag of money, I just spoke to my homeboy who can't stand Democrats. And he said, like, yo, if Kamala comes in and says that she's going to get rid of the college loans, I'm going to vote for her. So here you don't agree with any of her policies. You don't like her as a person. You don't think she's qualified. But if she does something to help your pockets, you're willing to vote for her. And it's the same thing that we all do. Oh, well, I'm going to pay less taxes, or, oh, I'm going to have more Social Security, or, oh, so therefore I'm just going to vote for this candidate. I don't care whether they're putting tampons in boys' bathrooms. I don't care whether they're letting any, illegal migrants in and they're taking money away from us. They're causing us to spend more money, take more money out of our tax dollars to give to illegal people that come here. I don't care that they're causing inflation by printing all this money. I don't care. Why? Oh, because they did this one thing for me. This is how we look at things. And then you expect me to believe that we come from a group of people that they died for your right to vote. I'm questioning a lot of stuff right now. If we come from that generation and those generations, then I'm questioning a lot, because we have no fight in us. We don't stand on integrity. All we do is just go with the flow and just go what's convenient and easy. We don't care about what's right from a principle standpoint. Let's keep going. Let's get into this Ricky Smiley video that I wanted to touch on. Oh, Queez wrote, money comes with promise. Facts. Queez wrote, Ozark outlines this perfectly. And shout out to Brandon Stanley. He wrote, good morning. Appreciate you tapping in, Brandon. Queez wrote, money and influence. Very simple. It's very simple how these things work, but we choose to either ignore it or, for whatever reason, overcomplicate it. All right, so let's get into